Hey, hello. My name is Antonio Celester, and I'm here to invite you to my Starting Your Own Business series of videos. Every once in a while, I take off my glasses back and forth because um, if I have to go read, I need to put my glasses on. It's just reality. Okay, so the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm running into a lot of people. They want to open their own business, and a lot of people just don't know how. They're afraid. A lot of challenges. Um, don't know what to do. A lot of people that want to open a business just don't know how. Don't know where to start. Um, it could be a block. It could be a really mind block. And years could go by before you even start to launch that business, even though you had the idea a long time ago. Just have to get past that fear. So part of what I'm going to do is try to dispel some of the fear. I'm actually going to tell you some experiences and open up some doors, and hopefully some of the stuff that I relate to you and the message that I give to you will give you some more courage to step forward, because it's out there. A lot of people start businesses by the day, not many last. And we'll go over that reason why later. Very important. And also we'll talk about um, motivating yourself and keeping yourself motivated and stay focused on the goal, because it can happen. I currently own four businesses. Own a tax office, which I do seasonally. Um, it was kind of like a not what I really wanted to do. I just ended up doing it because I had worked at H&R Block for some time and pretty much been doing taxes for a long time. So I said, hey, why not make some extra money on the side for myself, not working for others? And we're going to talk about that as well. A lot of people, the so-called paycheck people. Um, Also, I own a boutique. I had both a brick and mortar store as well as a online store. I currently own two online stores right now. I also did used car dealership. I mean, I did just about anything because I'm willing to make the sacrifices, and we're going to talk about sacrifices as well um, when it comes to opening your own business. So, um, one of the most important things I want people to do um, is to be able to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. If you doubt yourself for 1 minute, it's not going to happen. Because believing in yourself motivates you that you can do it. And there are a lot of people out there that start from zero. All this stuff about, oh, you have to mass up all this kind of money to start a business. And, you know, I started with rubbing two nickels together. And I don't even think there was nickel, the probably was pennies. But it is just you, when you have an intuition idea to do something, or to do something that's already being done, but do it better for less. For instance, great idea that I still believe in this compounding even today was like Uber. Like, who would have thought of sharing your car with strangers for money? Usually you giving people rides for free. But one guy thought of, hey, why not get paid for this? Employ everybody. You don't need a license, a taxi license. Taxi medallions cost 100,000, and plus the vehicle and all this other stuff. You use the car that you're already paying for, and you're making money. Oh my God, it was just such a. I did it for a little while. I made some weekend money, and it was great. I loved it. Um, here's a hint. Like, if you don't have a car and you don't have a job, but you have a license, Uber's for you. I mean, just imagine they got it now, so you can get a car, even if you have crappy credit. You can get a car and you can drive, and then drive for them. And some people say, "Oh, it's kind of expensive. It's you're paying $200-300 a week for the vehicle." But yeah, but you can make $1,500-1,800 a week. And that $200-300 nothing. And guess what? You got a car. You got a car that you can drive when you're not working. That you can go shopping with. Take your wife out, your kids out, and where you was taking the MBTA bus, the public bus, on your feet. There's a big difference. So you gotta measure the real value on things in order to appreciate them and use them to your advantage. So enough of that. So so the other thing that I do is I also do prom dresses. Yes, I do. It's a spin-off of my boutique. And I think prom dresses, I do what they call discounted prom dresses. And basically, we take a prom dress, it's the Uber of prom dresses, if you will. We take a prom dress that say you might pay like $600 for. You wear that dress for one day, looking good. And I get that same or similar dress, or even better, for one third of that, maybe $200. So you actually save $400. Well, I'm saying six. Yeah, six. You save $400 on that same day. And the most important thing, most of the people, particularly that go to public school, can't afford a $600 dress. Most families go have to go out of their way, um, maybe not eat for a few days, just so they can help their student be more successful and go to their prom. Prom is so important. I've been to my prom and it's great. I rented my suit, but it's different. Um, I didn't have a suit, that's why I rented one. But you know, the girls they like to buy their dress. They it's like having it's like the first dress they get before they have a wedding dress and that type of thing. But they understand. I understand too. So I made a business out of it. And so I also started a father's program, which was a business. I didn't do it for free. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't do it for free. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, and I just decided not to do it for free. Why should I work for free? Um, Slavery is over, as they say. I don't want to work for free, but I do use it to help my people, and I actually wrote that program myself. Yes, all of my call this. I have the seven core concepts to the program. And I'm still launching that program. I'm gonna launch it real good, and I really think, really think that that's gonna be very successful because there are a lot of programs out there to just disenfranchise young black men and turn into it's almost like the jail. Those programs are like the outside jail, the inside, if that makes sense. Um, they keep them revolving. They go back in, they come back in, you don't pay child support, you go to this program, you go back in, you know you ain't got a job, they go back in, you got a job, they take your money, they take your license, you go back in, it's a round and round circle. I'm not advocating that men shouldn't take care of children. I'm saying that I'm advocating that we should learn better ways to be fathers and parents to take care of our children. That's all. New skills. New skills is what I'm advocating. So, that being said, me starting all these businesses took a lot of sacrifice. It took a lot of sacrifice. I mean, some social sacrifices. I can really, I wouldn't say moral sacrifices, but probably some people would target as the moral sacrifices that I've taken. Financial sacrifices, absolutely. I can remember, especially been living on my own as a bachelor. I can remember really eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because I saved my money to do something. Like when I opened the boutique, I saved every dollar. I didn't go out. I didn't buy beer. I drank with friends. Let them buy the beer for a change. I was always that guy to be like, what you want to drink? I gotcha. Yeah, I was now. It was like, yo, could I get one of those? But you make those sacrifices for the bigger picture. Why invest in a brand new car that you got to pay when you could use that money to make money to buy a brand new car that somebody else can pay for? You get that? Let me say that again. Why go buy a brand new car to ride around look cute that you have to pay when you can invest that money into something that makes you money where somebody else pays? Namely, the person that works and buys from you. I wonder why we get so sidetracked on our toys, especially as black men, we love our cars. I mean, I had Hummers, I had Malibus, Lincolns, Cadillacs. Been there, done that. What fancies me now is property, hmm, stock, you know, bank account with some money in it, you know, traveling, that kind of thing. I matured a lot, so you'll get that. You'll get that in time, in due time as well. But if you want to buy a brand new Lincoln or a brand new Hummer, buy it. It's fun. Did fun, but you just can't make no money now unless you're doing Uber. I did Uber in my Hummer, believe it or not, and it paid the bills. It paid the bills. That's all that matters. I wasn't too proud to drive my people around in my Hummer because guess who was paying the bill? Them, not me. They were. They, meaning my passengers. I picked them up, I drop them off. They pay me money for my car. It's that simple. That's how you got to think out there. So in business, people, you have to think just logical stuff. Don't get tied up on all these. I'm going to go over some stuff that say like what people would probably do if you open a business. They'll be like, oh, gee, let me contact the SBA and let's see what they say about my business. Oh, the SBA. The SBA ain't going to give you no money. I mean, I think in my lifetime I've known maybe 3 people who got money, a business loan from the SBA, and they all were Caucasians. Believe me, I've never seen black folks get a SBA loan. Me personally, I'm not saying they haven't, but I just me in my world, I didn't see that. Where I come from, I didn't see that. Everybody I've known who opened their own business started from the grind. That's right. They started out with a job, what I call a paper chase, and they worked their way up. They saved money. They took chances. That's the guy you saw taking the bus. He didn't have his Cadillac. We were all driving around with our big 24. So yeah, he laughing at him. Look at him. He's on the bus. He was saving his money for business. Now we're taking the bus. He's got the Cadillac and a Mercedes Benz. He got the house. He got the wife and all that other stuff. Stable man. And that's what you want to be, stable. So a lot of people believe that working hard at a job, I'm talking about a regular 9 to 5, looking at a job 9 to 5, that you become independent some kind of way. How do you become independent working a 9 to 5? It's impossible. Don't let them fool you. Here's why I say that. Here's proof. Okay, you get up, you go to work. 9 to 5, 8 to 3, whatever. You're working 8 hours a day. I wouldn't care if they was paying you $50 an hour. Okay? Big deal. That doesn't make you independent. Because once that job goes, you go. Once the boss gets a hair across his behind, you go. Once you do a little slip and fall, you go. So don't you pay. Even if you had insurance, you still go. Once that job is no longer available, if you will, you go. And once the company goes away, you go. Look how many businesses are closing, retail establishments are closing their doors because of online sales. Walmart's closing stores. Whoa. Whoever thought Walmart would close stores? You know who made them close stores? Amazon. Amazon came up with a better retail solution. Fulfillment center. It's not unique. Fulfillment center, meaning that you don't have to come to the store. We're conveniently located in some neighborhoods and we'll even deliver it to your house. You don't have to do no traffic. You can be in the shower home. You could be home with your kids, your wife, and you can still get that 60-inch colored TV dropped off at your house, or just your little Walkman that you wear while you're working out. They bring it to you. As opposed to going to Walmart, getting in traffic, burning gas, looking for a parking spot, dealing with the population, the Walmart crew, standing in line, all exposed to all these things. in the store, you might even overspend when you get in the store because you start seeing stuff that you don't even need. You start buying. You ever go in the store to buy one thing and come out with 10? It's designed that way, especially at Walmart. I mean, who can resist Tide on sale for $7 for the big bottle? Okay, I use Tide, $7. That's a killer. Okay, so these are the kind of things I'm talking about. So you can't become independent, but that doesn't say you don't work. Working should be your stepping stone, the ring on your ladder, if you will. I worked 33 years as a professional chef, and in the beginning, I was a paper chaser. I just knew I was gonna get that big executive chef job making 6 figures at a hotel or something. Never came. I was on the grind, paper chasing, paper chasing, paper chasing, until one day I said, "Wait a minute, I'm not gonna become independent working for someone else. It's just not gonna happen. The man or the woman who signs my paycheck is not even in the building. They're somewhere on the beach. They're in Honolulu. Okay? Only thing they're doing is getting on their laptop and watching their money grow. That's independence. They're not worried about the cable bill. They're not worried about the lights getting cut off. They're not worried about their car being repossessed. They're not worried about the kids not having coats for the winter. They're not worried about having food on the table because they have you and I out there doing a 9 to 5, making money for them. Okay? Making money for them. Yeah, they paid you good. Shaq put it one day. He said, I'm rich, but the person that signs my check is wealthy. Hmm. That stuck to my head big time. He said, I'm rich, but the person that signs my check is wealthy. Because the person that signs his check is not bouncing the basketball. He's not running up and down, playing 90 something games a year. He's sitting up in the thing, watching his little workers make his money, seeing how big the crowd gets. Oh, yeah, Hercules, Hercules. And he's checking his bank account. Jing, 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 jing. That's independence. So think about this when you open up a business. That when you open up a business, you're not opening up a business to make money. Don't think about that. Please don't. You'll lose. Been there, done that. You're opening a business to gain independence. Okay? That's what it's about. You want to start your business. You don't say, I'm going into business so I can make a gang of money. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's very rare that you open a business and make a gang of money, particularly at the start. There's some say that for the first 3 years, you don't make no profit at all. Yeah, you got some money coming. That's not profit. You may as well have went to work. But those are the steps you got to take. So let me just say this. Let's move a little further. So let's say this. So when people decide to open a business, they go to the SBA. In the SBA, you go online, SBA.com. Let me see. Start my own business. Woo! And then you see this thing that says 10 things you should know before you start your own business, or something to that effect of 10 things that you must do before you start your own business. And I'm going to just go over them, just give you the little of the what I'll call the layman's version, based on my 30 something years of experience, both running businesses and owning. I probably owned only the last since 1994. It's my first real business. I had other businesses. I really never had no illegal businesses. I never like sold drugs, none of that stuff. I've been around people who done it, and I never was a drug dealer, not like that. But I had activities, if you will. But the point is, what I'm saying is, let's take a look at what the SBA and see why people get discouraged when they read this stuff. Because I've been through that too. I read that. I used to read books and be like, you know something, I'm gonna be the best businessman. I would read everything. I'm one of those kind of people. I'm a Scorpio, so we hate failure and we got a big ego. So I read everything. So when someone roll up on me, I'd be like, yeah, boom, 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 pa, pa, ya, pa, cha, cha. Say the things down to him and be like, ah, that's good. Yeah, but you got any money in your pocket? I'd be like, yeah, you're right. So it doesn't make a difference about all that other stuff, but I just want to go over them so I can dispel some of the myths about them, okay? Let's start. So I'm on the SB website, and it says, and I got to put my glasses on for this one. I can see. You probably can see some reflection of my glass. I'm going to try to not let that happen. But it is what it is. So they say the first thing you do is conduct market research. And a lot of people don't even really know what market and all this other stuff. What's the market? And it says the market will tell you if there's an opportunity to turn your idea into a successful business. It's a way to gather information about the potential customers and businesses already operating in your area. Use that information to find a competitive edge for your business. Now, let me repeat that one more time. It says market research will tell you and I and anybody else who want to get in business if there's an opportunity to turn your idea into a successful business. Now, very few businesses start with the idea. Some ideas are already there and they just make them better. Like like what Amazon did to Walmart. They didn't create things, they just made retailing better. So they didn't create retailing, they made retailing better, more convenient, less cost. Those are the advantages that Amazon took in order to take a big Goliath Walmart to the ground. Just about still going down. So market research is important, but I'm gonna tell you on a layman's term why it's important. Here's an example. Let's say, for instance, you want to open up, let's say you want to sell bananas, okay? But everybody in the area that you selling those bananas have renal problems. Your renal. With renal, you can handle bananas. They'll kill you if you eat it. You have a renal problem, bananas will kill you. So why would you be trying to sell bananas in a neighborhood full of renal patients? For an example, that's kind of extreme, but my point is what I'm saying is, if you're going to sell bananas, if I'm going to sell bananas, I'm going to go to the people who eat bananas. But I have to find out where those people that eat bananas live and where they play and where they socialize. So I can be right there. I'm not going to sell, in this case, bananas somewhere where they're not, where people don't eat bananas. It doesn't make sense because I wouldn't make no money. It's a waste of time. You just don't throw something out there and hope people buy it. I've seen a lot of businesses do that. Some made some success, some didn't. They'll throw something out there. They'll buy this. People like it because you like it. You think everybody else likes it. Well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But you go take a shot. You ever see the dudes who rent to New York and get those little clothes and they sell them out the car? Yeah, you could make a few dollars doing that. That was a few dollars here, a few dollars there. But as soon as they put it in the store, they sold nothing. I seen dudes go from walking to the car to a store, brick and mortar, where you actually walk in and you got stuff all over the place. And then they go out of business, sell nothing. Because everybody goes to New York and do the same thing. You can't do the same thing as everybody else. You have to do something different. What is your niche? I say the niche on that was to stay walking, doing it. Reach the customers. Don't let them come to you. Number one, everybody and their mama was selling New York stuff. Stuff from New York. You go to New York, go to Canal Street, you get the stuff for cheap. You come back, you go to your neighborhood, you make a little dollars because the people can afford too much of stuff like that. So yeah, they'll buy your jeans for $5, $10. Those with those Coolio jeans and Coolio this and Coolio that, and you tell them it's this, and you upgrade it, and you make people think it costs more than what it did, and you pay $2 for it, and you're selling it for $25, and all this other stuff. This business is business. But that's an example of started businesses failures because they took something that's already going and everybody jumped on it because it started making a little money, but then they flooded the market. The market is the people or the potential customers who may buy. So now they're confused. If it's 10 people selling the same stuff, then you're like, who's got the best deal? 10, his is 10, his is 9, his went down to 7, he's going to sell his for 4, she went to 3. And then it goes down and down to it, devalues the whole thing when nobody want to buy it no more. Because now them are $2 jeans. I get them from Mary for $2.50 for 2. So they dumb down the value. And now the value meets the market price. I mean the wholesale price, so it's not even worth doing it anymore. Not to mention that some of the stuff is knockoff stuff, and some of the stuff is stuff that they call bootleg stuff and all this other stuff, and you really can't open up a brick and mortar store with bootleg stuff because the cops are coming and run you down like they did with the tapes. And they're selling them bootleg movies and music and all that. You can't like open up a bootleg movie store, like rent bootleg movies, rent bootleg videos, rent. No, they shut you down and put you in jail for piracy. So know your market, know who you're gonna sell to before you go out there. I'll give the SBA that. You got to do that. But here's how you do that. Here's how you do it. You know, you can look at the numbers. The numbers don't tell what's being sold in the hood. Doesn't tell you that. That's the key point. Because where's your business gonna be at? You got to think about that first. When you think about where your business is gonna be at, then you got to start dealing with numbers and stuff like that. I can remember when I was going to do my store in Atlanta, Georgia, and I started looking at the income levels in different parts of Atlanta, Buckhead and all that. Buckhead, like, ooh, there was like females without their husbands' income had a more 6-figure disposable income. And I was like, yeah, I want to be right there. But was I selling the right product that they want to buy? I was selling exotic wear, like stripper stuff and all that. Like, do they really want to buy that stuff from me? Or do they want to buy more classy stuff? Nobody will never know because I didn't do it. Okay, so that's important about knowing where your market's at. So when it comes to market research, I would say do your research through the people who you're going to sell to. What I mean by that? Okay, we have a lot of friends. You have a lot of friends, family, and that. See what's going out there. Talk about things. Yeah, what's up? What's going out there? What's up, cuz? What they doing out there with that? How with some jeans? They selling jeans? What they wearing? Da da da. Because they're gonna know. They pick up on stuff, especially people that stay up on all that, like sneakers and all that. They want to pop, pop, pop. They stay up on the stuff. So you got to keep your ears open if you're gonna have a business in your neighborhood. If you're not going to have the business in your neighborhood, then guess what? You have to study someone else's neighborhood, that neighborhood where you're going to be in. Sometimes those market things that help, they tell you what the population is, blacks, whites, the age ranges, the income ranges, and all that. Even some market researchers, and this is free data on government sites, it could tell you income levels, disposable incomes. Disposable income meaning income that they spend for like entertainment and income for food, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. They gather all the information together, and you gotta look and see if there's opportunity there for you to get some of that money. Okay, let's say for instance, let's say for instance, let's take the bootleg selling in New York stuff for example. Now, if everybody on the block got the same stuff, or similar, same stuff. They all got it from New York, whatever, Chicago, whatever. Don't make a difference. I'm not picking on New York. I'm just using that for an example. Um, and everybody on the block had the same thing. Then you had to figure out how do you have a competitive edge to get some of the money if there's money to be made selling that stuff. How do you get your portion? What do you do that's going to be different? Do you lower your price? Are you conveniently located? Do you deliver? Um, do you have sales? What colors do you have? What sizes do you cater to? Who are the people that you are targeting for sales? These are the kind of things you have to figure out ahead of time. Otherwise, don't start a business if you don't know who your customers, where your money's coming from. It's just like opening a business, don't know who your employees are going to be, or what skills they're going to have, or what skills they're going to need to execute your plan. That's coming up soon. The plan. We're going to talk about the plan, but there's a plan that says he who fails to plan plans to fail. I'm gonna say it again. He or she who fails to plan plans to fail. Okay, keep that in mind. We're gonna talk about plans in a little bit. So, step one, it says conduct your market research. I say check out with your family and friends and all that. It's the same thing as conducting your market research, doing all this complicated stuff and going through numbers. You might do that once you get more skilled into the business and what you know in your thing. You're gonna know who your customers are and they're gonna know who you are, and that's important. Not that you know who they are, but they know who you are. So when Mary or Joe is sitting down and be like, "Oh yeah, I need a new pair of sneakers." "Oh yeah, Bob got a sneaker. He sells sneakers. Let me go call him up and see if he got my size." That's the way you keep business going. You got to be in their mind on what you got for them. Okay, so on the conduct the marketing research, I would give it on a scale from 1 to 10. I would say it's important as a 10. I would give that a 10 because if you don't know who your customers are, you can't make no money. Can't sell to nobody. Okay, so let's keep that. So we can learn how to do that. In my segments, I'm gonna actually demonstrate in detail how to do that on any business. It doesn't make a difference if you got transportation business. Like I have friends who have transportation businesses, make 6 figures. Um, I have friends with electronics shops. I have friends who do regular gypsy cabin. I mean, sort of like Uber before Uber started. Then they jumped into Uber, okay, get more money. I have people who have transportation companies who actually transport kids to school and stuff like that, school bus thing and all that. They pick the kids up. That's all they do. They make good money. I know because I do their taxes. Okay. All right. So it says conduct the market research, and we'll get back on that later on. The next segment on there says what we was talking about earlier. Write your business plan. Now, I don't want this to scare you. Business plans are a very, very complicated thing. It's not easy, but you can make it easy. They make it complicated so you don't understand it. So you say, damn, I can't do it. So now I'm not going to open my business because I can't understand a business plan. Let me know where to start. This is sad. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5 and stay working. Paper chasing, I call it. So it says, write business plan. My glasses again. Sorry. It says, your business plan is the foundation of your business, which it is. It is the roadmap. Keep that in mind, roadmap. And I'm going to tell you why. That part is very important. For how to structure, run, and grow your new business. You'll use it. You'll use it to convince people that working with you as the business owner, or investing in you or your company, you again, is a smart choice. But you have to convince yourself that's a smart choice first. You have to be able to articulate that business to yourself before you can do it to somebody else. What good is the business plan if you don't even understand yourself? Isn't that something? But I'm going to show you an easy way. So let's take the mystery out of business plans right now. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it complicated? It can be. You can make it complicated if you don't simplify it. One man once told me, why I look at a mountain like a mountain? because then you feel like you can't climb it. Look at it like a little bunch of hills. One little step at a time can get you up to the top. And you get to the bottom, you look back and you're like, damn, that was a lot of stuff. That was a big old mountain. But you made it. And the same thing with a business plan. So this is why I started out as a business plan. I sat down and I said to myself, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? Don't say I'm trying to make a bunch of money because you're going to get confused. Now, I told you don't say that. I want to accomplish independence. How do I do that? My next question. I do that by A, B, C, D. Okay? If you don't know those steps, how are you going to get there? You don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So let's take the mystery out of the planning. It's all just writing down what's on your mind and what you want to do. They put it in, you go to SBA to like, okay, give us the objective, give us the outlook and da and all these fancy words, and they all scare you off running. Okay, here's an example. Simple example. Let's say I wanted to open a clothing store, which I did. I actually opened a shoe store. Started as a women's shoe store, and then it evolved to a boutique. I didn't go in there saying I want to open a boutique. It evolved to that. You know how it evolved to that? My customers evolved it to that. I did. They did. They got the money. So I said I want to open a shoe store. So the first thing I had to do was like, I don't wear women's shoes, but I want to sell them because I know they buy them more than men. Some women got 200 pairs. I have. Don't let me go get my little 5 pairs of shoes that I got and show you, but we won't go there. All right. So they have 200 pairs. So I said, I have to learn about women's shoes. I have to learn about the shoes that I don't even wear. I know not many about men's shoes, let alone women's shoes. Why would I be learning about linen shoes? You know why? Because I'm in the business of selling them. See? See how easy that was? I'm in the business of selling them. That's why I have to learn about what I'm doing. So there's a thing that I learned a long time ago, and I'm going to cut it off. I just want to say Ford, Henry Ford, yes, Ford Motor Company and all that other stuff, cars running around to this day, knew nothing about cars. Did you know that? What he did was hire people that did. He hired people that knew about cars. He knew nothing about cars. So that told me if I wanted to own a barber shop, I don't have to be a barber to own a barber shop. I don't have to be a doctor to own a hospital. Who says you have to be a doctor to own a hospital? Hello. You see what I'm saying? So when you start, that's the kind of thinking you gotta be. You gotta use your head and think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let things that you might want to know a little something about it, but you don't have to be a licensed barber to own a barber shop. You just gotta have someone with a license there. Just like Ford, they know nothing about cars, but he hired those that did. Say, hey, here's my ideas, put it to work. You work for me. Make my money. And now his name's running around on cars right now. Okay? So business plan is important. We will go over business planning in one of my segments. Detail. Actually detail. I'm going to actually PowerPoint that business plan from the beginning to the end. I'm going to show you how to make it all make sense. Put your thoughts together and bring it all to one conclusion. But business plans is not just for you to understand your business, it's for others to understand what you're trying to do. If there's a big if, you're going to be relying on other people's money. That's right. If you're going to be taking loans, people are going to be like, what do you, show me what you got. Show me what you're working with. And if they're not convinced that you know what you're doing on that plan, you're probably not going to get no money. You probably got no money even if they do understand. That's been I've never took loans. And I'm going to show you how to not take loans and still open up a business. It's not easy, but it ain't impossible. That's what I'm here for. to open the doors for you and help you and succeed in opening your first business, if your first business, or evolving the business you're already in. Because you could be in business right now and just be stuck like, gee, like, well, what am I doing? I'm just making the same money, da da da, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm paying the bill, but I still feel like I'm doing a 9 to 5, still paper chasing. No, there's some things you can do if you got a business right now that I'm gonna teach you in my segments. That's gonna change your whole, gonna change your whole look out on what you're doing. I don't care if you're selling ice cream. When I'm gonna show you in my segments, you're gonna take that ice cream to a whole nother level. You're gonna start selling sherbet. You're gonna start selling yogurt. Okay? I'm trying to tell you something. You have to have evolve. Don't stay stuck on one thing. Let's go to the next thing. So business plan, we'll get to that on one of our segments. Fund your business. Now this is funny right here. Fund your business. Now, most of the people who have good ideas don't have good money. Okay? I had a lot of good ideas. Oh yeah, that, but I had no freaking money in my pocket. I had nobody give me money, so I can who's willing to fund my ideas. Their ideas, and it could be very stressful. It could be very challenging, and it can be self destructive because you could be like, I'm just poor, and got nobody, got no money, got no girlfriend, got no wife, kids is here. You start spiraling downhill when it comes to the money pot. But I'm telling you, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Let me tell you. I started with no one gave me money. I didn't take no loans. I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna show you how I did that. I'm gonna open up open it all up for you, so you can see. Now I'm not saying it's gonna work for everybody, because you still gotta have a business mind, and I'm gonna change that to give you that business mind, so you can think like a businessman. Even if you're selling ice cream or you're selling bubble gum, doesn't make a difference. The mindset of a businessman is the same. It's the same. They make the same and similar decisions on different levels. Okay? So it says your business will help you figure out how much money you'll need to start your business. If you don't have that amount on hand, you'll need to either raise or borrow the capital. Capital is the money you need to start your business. Fortunately, there are more ways to even fund your capital, to find the capital that you need. Yes, most of the people who start businesses out, they don't start out because they already got money. They didn't start out because they got excellent credit. My credit was in the dumps. Okay? They didn't start out because someone was standing beside them and said, whenever you're ready to do your idea, we're funding you. You got that. The funding pot, just like the business plan, is designed to scare you away. You can have the brightest idea. I even have an invention, and I didn't have money to fund it. I didn't have money to fund it. It potentially could have made me billions, but I didn't have a dollar, and I had to try to find a way to explain it to people without them taking it from me, without them stealing my idea. You want to talk to people, but you don't want them to steal it because you know they have the means to do it, but you didn't, but you don't. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this, and you better believe me. Do not rely on your family. Don't. Don't rely on others. Period. Period. Believe it. Take it from somebody who knows. Yeah, family loves you. They hug you, they kiss you, and this and that. But when it comes to putting their money at risk for your idea, not theirs, yours, you're gonna find some division. You're gonna find out some really serious stuff that's gonna hurt you here. So my advice would be like, Start your independence by not going to them for money about your business. If someone comes forward and say, "Hey, you need any help?" That's different. But don't go. Don't don't do it. I don't care who it is. Father, mother, don't do it. Just there is it's not impossible. I'd rather deal with people who are not family members than to deal with family members because it can cause some serious divisions that last forever. Where if the person's not family or close friends, hey, you divide, there's no hurt involved. I'm not saying screw people around neither. I'm saying that try to do things on your own, and the satisfaction and joy you get out is going to be much better. When I did businesses and failed, I didn't owe nobody nothing. Nobody said, "Where's my money at?" It was my money, so I could. It's my money. If I want to burn it, I could burn it. If I want to throw it or drink it or smoke it or whatever, I could do it. It was my money. That's the way you got to have it. Believe me, saves so much aggravation. So, funding your business, I'm going to show you some ways to start from scratch with shitty credit, no money in the bank, maybe even no job. Okay. I bought brand new cars with no job. Okay. I bought homes with $200-300 down. Well, I should say a home. I said homes, a mobile home, not homes, but a mobile home with 200-300 down. So I'm going to show you some stuff to help you get started where you don't have to rely on others to fund your business. I'm going to show you some secrets that are out there that they really just don't tell you about them for whatever reason. Maybe they're haters. I don't know. And sometimes you get family haters, believe it or not. Cross my heart. You would think that family would be like, yeah, ooh, go boy, whatever, do. Someone be there and be like, that's gonna fail. They'll be like, you shouldn't do that. Why are you doing that? You need to take care of your kids. They'll throw a lot of negatives. These are family too, and some friends. And they'll make you feel like, no, I can't do that. Yeah, they're right. It'll start eating at you, even if you could be the strongest person. But family, if they're dear to your heart, they can say stuff that really hurt your feelings and make you not motivated. So then you have to separate yourself. You really have to separate yourself. You ever notice when people change, like if someone stops drinking or stops smoking or stop doing something normal that you do with them all the time, they separate themselves from you. So you don't get to see them that much. If someone stops, say, hanging out and going to church, you don't see them no more. You don't see them in that social setting no more. They have to separate themselves in order to go towards that goal they do. You're going to find out you want to separate yourself from people and even family members. It could be brothers or sisters, sons or daughters, it don't make a difference. You have to separate yourself from them in order to. That's part of what we talk about: sacrifice, social sacrifices, moral sacrifices. That's what I was talking about earlier. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about the successes. But I can't go by without mentioning those sacrifices that you will make. I guarantee you'll make them. You are going to come across that person or persons who are very dear to you, who's going to say something to you. They might encourage you, but you can see it deep in their heart that they're really, like, I wouldn't say they're hating. They just, they're overly concerned about you and what you do with yours. But if the shoe was on the other foot, you would probably be like, yeah, no, go ahead, do your thing. I support you 100%. But when it comes to you and me, for that matter, the ones who are out there who's making those other sacrifices nobody sees, they just don't understand. When you have the passion to have something and be independent, you have to separate yourself. Someone must said, why, if you broke, you're going to hang with broke people. Well, I'm not saying family members are broke. Some are. Some got money. But the point is, what I'm saying is, if you want to make money, don't hang with broke people. If you want to do business, don't hang with people who don't want to do business. If you want to be independent, don't hang with people who are dependent. Simple. So let's move on. We'll be back to that later. My other segments, of course. Then it says pick your business location. And this is important. I have to admit this is important for me. It was important for me. Pick your business location. Let me read you what the SBS says about this. It says your business location is one of the most important decisions you'll make. It is. Whether you're setting up a brick and a mortar, which means the store that you walk in, and you say, hi, customers, business, or you're launching an online store. Now, picking a location on an online store, it doesn't make a difference where you're at. You can be anywhere. You can be China, around the world, Africa. You can set up based on your web location. You can target different parts of the world. Did you know that? That depend is the not the domain, but the that .com or that last piece there, that determines where your website shows. So if I want to show my website in Alaska, for instance, maybe I'm selling giraffes or whatever, I don't know. Then my website's going to have a different .com because .com is America. Not to say that you can't have American, they can't see you, but if you advertising in Australia, Africa, you want to have their URL. No, that's not the URL. URL is the whole thing. But that ending part, that dot pot, you need to have that changes. Like the government has .gov, so that deals with the government. So, for instance, Canada has .ca. Okay, then the federal government has .us.ma or .us.sa for South Carolina, UN.ga for Georgia. For the federal government. So there you get the target based on your website thing where you want to sell your product. So what are you depending on what you're selling and who you're selling to? Again, your marketing. Okay. So it says your brick and mortar and launching an online store. The choices you make could affect your taxes, your legal requirements, and your revenue. These are important. Let me tell you why. I do taxes. I deal with a lot of small businesses. Well, moms and pop stores mostly. Some females, a lot of them African Americans. Maybe one or two here and there Spanish. But the point is, what I'm saying is this: what I've noticed is the trend, especially in doing taxes, that a lot of our people, when we go into business, we don't know jack doodle about the taxes, our legal requirements, and it affects our revenue. Here's how. Now, let's say you opened up let's go back to my store. Let's go back to the brick and mortar store. I'm selling ladies' shoes. Well, with those ladies' shoes, you have the brick and mortar, which is the store that they actually walk in. They call that brick and mortar because that means it's built as opposed to online. You walk in there, you have to have a retail license. You have to have a tax ID. You have to have insurance in case someone slips and fall while they're trying your shoe on or something like that. You know what I did? We had a linoleum floor in the building that I put the store in. I was like, oh no. I know what linoleum could do to a woman in high heels when the floor is wet. You're gonna have wet weather. It'd be just like ice skating. So I put carpet down. See that? I'm thinking ahead of time. I'm thinking of the liabilities that may happen. Do them now. Take care of those now, because if you don't take care of them now, they'll take care of you later. Okay? When that person comes in and slips and falls on your floor because you have no linoleum that you polished up to look nice, that turns into an ice skating rink once it's wet, especially on high heels or anything like that. It can, even on sneakers, turn to an ice skate rink. Okay, and they can go to the floor. So picking your location. So again, if you're online, to me, it doesn't matter the difference. Your location's your home. Anywhere you want to be in the world, it can be anywhere. But no, you're talking in the market. Who are you marketing to? That's how you pick where you want to land your website. Where you want those clicks to come from. Well, I'm selling giraffes in Africa. I need to have an African website with that dot whatever at the end, dot Africa. So when people are looking for giraffes, my website will come up. Even though I'm in America, come up in Africa. So those are some of the little important clue things that people probably didn't really notice. Oh, let me get .com. Come, I'm selling this. And they feel like, and the only thing they're doing is circulating around the state because they don't know. They think that the web is this one thing that goes around. It only goes around when you send it around. You don't just jump up and go around. You got to send it. Okay. This next one. Choosing a business structure. Now, people are like, what do you mean by that, Antonio? Or the SBA or whoever else they ask you, what's your business structure? So, the SBA says the legal structure you choose for your business will impact your business registration requirement. True. How much you pay in taxes. True. And your personal liability. True. All true. That's why this is so important. So, when they say business structure, they're talking about whether you're a corporation, sole proprietor, S corporation, LLC. I'll tell you about all these different things and what they mean to you in my segments. I'll tell you a little bit about right now, just a little bit. The difference, let's give you a quick difference. Okay, mom and pop stores. They call them mom and pop stores. Some mom and pop stores are what they call sole proprietors. Sole proprietor is someone who individually owns the business and the business is in their personal name. Antonio's grocery store. It's not, well, that doesn't mean it's in the person's name, but that's what I mean by structure. The structure of the mom and pop store mostly is the person's. Let's say, for instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say let's say I make clothes. I sew clothes. I make people's clothes or whatever. I'm not a corporation. I'm not an LLC. I'm not an S corporation. I'm not even the mom and pop store. I'm Antonio's clothing maker, if you will. And so I don't need to set up all that stuff. My social security is my business. That's the number that I use. I don't have a federal ID number. That is my ID. My social security number is what's out there, and I collect money, and that money comes to me, and I'm a sole proprietor. When they mean sole, that means you alone. Sole, not us proprietor, not them proprietor. Sole, one, meaning it's only you. You are the business. Another example, a plumber, maybe a painter, maybe a mechanic. Those can all potentials could be sole proprietor, but they also could be other things too. Just because they're one by themselves don't mean they're sole proprietor. Even some artists, singing artists, and stuff like that, they are sole proprietors, but some of them have become corporations, limited liability corporations, which means that all the liability against the corporation is limited only to the corporation and cannot come to your personal assets. For instance, let's say you own John's Jones car building company, okay? And it's a corporation, regular corporation like Ford Motor Company and everything, all the big stuff, and all you got all these people working for you. And so now the company, let's say the corporation has shareholders. Shareholders represent ownership. So unless you own more than 50% of the shares, you don't own majority of the company. You may own some shares. Walmart is a corporation. Ford's a corporation. All these corporations, they have shareholders, and the shareholders own the company, and they vote on what happens with the company, what happens with the shares, and who's this, and they vote everybody in. It's like voting inside that company, as opposed to when you're a sole proprietor. There's no voting. It's just you. You make the decisions. You take the liability. If you hurt someone, they sue you personally. They take your house. They take your car. They take your wife. They take your kids. Okay, they sue you personally because you're a sole proprietor and you're responsible for all the liability. So what they did was created what they call limited liability companies. Whoa, that sounds a little good. So that way, limited liability, meaning that the liability you create under this structure of business is the liability only lies with the company that you made and not your personal assets. So you can sue me. You just can't take my house. You can't take my kids. You can't take my wife. You can't take my bank account. You only can take the company's stuff, what's in the company's name. And of course, if you're a limited liability company, the things will be in your company name, not yours. You might have used to them. You might have a company car, but it's the company's car, not yours. Big difference in that. You'll see the difference in that later on. We go through that segment, how it affects you on taxes and how it affects you on income and all this other good stuff. So these are the type of things that when you're starting out a business, a lot of people don't know. What structure do I need to be in? Well, a lot of it depends on what situation you're in and what kind of business you're in as well. Definitely. What kind of business? If I'm selling bananas, do I need to be a limited liability? Oh, if you're leaving banana peels all over the place, pretty much you'll probably need to be. Or, if you got a bunch of gorillas around who like bananas, you probably need to be a limited liability company as well. Gorilla gonna beat somebody out the way to get them bananas. That's just a joke. But the point is, what I'm saying is, you got to know what structure they're going into based on what kind of business it's going to be, based on what the activities are going to be. Okay? Based on what the activities are going to be. Because you have to protect yourself in the money you did make. You want to protect that money. There's risk on everything. There's risk being a sole proprietor. There's risk being an LLC. There's risk being a corporation, S corporation, or any kind of corporation. Because there's different kinds of corporations too. But all of them have their pros. All of them have their cons. And depending on what business you're in and what your activities in that business is going to be, it's going to determine what you do, what your business structure is going to be. We'll cover those in my coming segments. If you stick around, you're going to learn how to navigate all of that. Let's move on. So it says, choose your business name. And in its SBA, it says, it's not easy to pick the perfect name. You'll want one that reflects your brand and captures your spirit. You'll also want to make sure your business name isn't already being used by someone else. This is what we call the copyrights laws and stuff like that. But more importantly, you don't want to name your bit. You can't open up another McDonald's. You can't say my thing is McDonald's too. McDonald's own that name. Okay, you can't say I'm a Best Buy too, because Best Buy owns that name. So you have to come with your own unique name. And how do you know if it's unique? There's a way you find out. You can submit the name to see if it's taken. Because when you register your business, they're going to check to see if there's a name. It has to be that same name in a similar business. Okay? So if you call your place McDonald's, you can't be selling hamburgers and fries. You might be selling TVs. You might be selling cars. But you can't sell hamburgers and fries and call it McDonald's. McDonald's with hamburgers, fries is already taken. Been taken for many years. So it has to be a similar business. It has to. You can't make any food McDonald's. You can't call it. If you were even if you were selling bananas, you can't call it McDonald's because it's still in the same category as food. See what I'm saying? That's how it works. Because if you had a business and someone comes along and names a business similar to yours, well, if they get good publicity, that's good. You get the publicity too. But if it gets bad publicity, that publicity can leak over to your business and cost you money. Okay? So let's say the McDonald's thing, let's say you had a McDonald's too, and then someone choked on one of your nasty sandwiches and found out it had bugs in it or something. Well, now no one's going to go to any McDonald's. Anything called McDonald's, they're not going to touch it when it comes to food. So that's why you got to have your own uniqueness. So I call my business, my boutique, I call it Jazara's Boutique. Jahzaras. Jazara's. Why Jazara's? Jazara's means blessed princess in African language. Jazara means blessed princess. Now, what that is so captivating for a woman to see a store that says the store of the blessed princesses, because they want to be the princess, then they want to turn into the queen, but they gotta start off being a princess first. That's what my store name means. So you want your name to be unique. So always be thinking about what I'm going to call my business and make it in relation to what you're doing. Okay? You don't have a tough name for a soft business or a soft name for a tough business. Okay? I am Mike's I am Mike's cream puffs. Doesn't ring to I am Mike's cream puffs. See the two, they just don't ring together. You know what I'm saying? I am Mike's power drinks. That sounds a little, they kind of ring together. You see what I'm saying? I am Mike's power drinks. You see? You see that? That's how you got to think about names. Let's move on. Don't worry about your name, but think about it because it's going to be important because it's going to make you who you are. Just like your name is. I think the Bible says something about your name is something, but name's important with even your own name. Register your business. This is number 7. Register your business. Now, this part right here, when they say register, that means that you have selected a structure. You have submitted that structure to your local state Secretary of State. All businesses that are registered are located public information on your Secretary of State website. You go to your state website, you punch in Secretary of State. Most of them are called Secretary of State, and I've never seen it called anything else. Every state has a secretary. And then under that, you go to that website, it's public information, there's corporations, and then it doesn't make a difference what the structure is, as long as it's registered, corporations, and then you'll come into a search engine thing where you can put either the business name or sometimes you can put the location, like the address, or you can put the person owner's name in that field, one of those fields, and you click and bang, it gives you their whole, who's the owner, it gives you the business structure, it gives you the address of the owner, sometimes the phone number. It even gives you the, if it's a corporation, it gives you the bylaws and stuff like that. These kind of things are required when you have a corporation. You have bylaws and voting and who's the secretary and all this other stuff and who's the owners on that website. And why do they do that? It's public information. Supposing I get injured by a business, how do I find out who owns it? Public information. Your house deed is public information. If you own a home, I can look that up just by your address. I don't even need your name. I just need the address and I can tell who owns the house. Or actually, who's on the deed. I can see what you paid for the house. Online is public information. Did you know that? Did you know that your house that you paid for it in your mortgage and who you pay your mortgage to? It doesn't tell you how much you paid, just tell you how much you bought the house for or how much it sold for, I should say. And during that time, because that's all public information. If I fall on your property because you didn't clear the IX or something like that, You think I'm gonna chase people down or how to find out who owns the house? No, I just go to the public information and I put that address in. Wow. I can tell who owns the house, who's on the deed, or if wife's on the deed. I know her name. I know your name. I know who the finance company is, and I know how much you paid for the house. Then I can do some other mathematics and tell if you still owe on the house or if it's paid for. Boom, boom, boom. I can do that. I'm gonna show you how to do all that. And so if you was open up a similar business, for example, you can go to another business's website and see, hey, what structure they got. Let's see what they did. You can almost mimic what they did and just do your other thing differently. Okay, set it up the same way. That's how you find out. These are the little secrets I'm gonna teach you. Okay, so register your business. A lot of people go and open business and don't register. That is dumb because they're gonna be looking for you to, if this you're in a taxing state, you're gonna have to collect taxes. If you're taxed, you have to collect taxes. You have to. You will not be in business long. Okay, don't think you're gonna go in there and take the money and I'll go home. You know the taxes is not part of your money. That's not your money. So if you want to be in business and stay in business, you get a tax ID. When you register, when you collect, it's gonna collect the taxes. You're gonna put an account aside. We'll teach you that where the taxes go. And at the end of the term, some states is 2 months, some states is every month, like South Carolina, you have to file a tax every month when you own a business. The business tax, you have to file it every month, even if you don't make money. You know what that's about, right? So let me just tell you a little story. I had a boutique in South Carolina, and I found out that like in Massachusetts, I have one here, but they do quarterly sometimes. Depends on the business. But they do monthly, even if damn Massachusetts don't require you to do one if you don't make money. It only requires you to report whatever money you have. So I found out why they do that down there. Because they want you to be able to try to lie. Okay, I didn't make no money. So this is what they did when I first opened. They sent someone in the store to buy something. Excuse me. They sent someone in the store to try to buy something. They bought it. You could tell they wasn't, listen, the stuff I was selling the person was like, shh, there's no way in the world this person's supposed to be in the store. But hey, I don't judge anybody. I want your money too. So they buy the stuff, and like 2 weeks later, I was that filing was due. Now, if I didn't report that and said I didn't make no money, I would have been a liar because they the one that came in and bought the stuff. They sent someone in to buy stuff. Yes, the state of South Carolina. They send people in to buy something from you. So that way, you could be just that. I wouldn't care if you only sold it for $10. You have to say, I sold this for $10. And that was the only thing you sold all month. And pretty much I just opened the doors. And I was due like a week later. So I sold a couple of things, and it was some of those things that they bought themselves. So then you can't come in there and say, well, I didn't sell nothing. They'll be like, you're lying. Here's the receipt right here. I went in the store. You didn't know. Or Mary went in the store and bought this. Remember that? Here's the receipt. Okay? And they get you. See, a lot of people ain't thinking, oh, I'm going to beat them. I'm gonna get around. They've been through that already. They already know this stuff. They know how to get you. Okay? So that's why, brothers and sisters, when you open up a store, just be legit about it. If you want to be really independent, just know I'll teach you. I'm going to teach you in this segment. I'm going to show you how to set it all up where you can't go wrong. All right. So here's number 8. It says get federal and state tax IDs. Why? Because you got to pay them taxes. You have to report that money. Okay. It says you on the SBA website said get federal and state tax IDs. You'll use your employee identification number for important steps to start and grow your business, like opening a bank account and paying taxes. Set it right on there. It's like a social security number for your business. Yes, it is. Some but not all states require you to get a tax ID as well. Most of the states I've been into, and even if it don't require you to get one, and I'll tell you why. Your tax ID, like I said, is like the social security of your business. If you're a limited liability, or you're a liability company or corporation, you want to separate your social security number from the business. You don't want your social security number running around and every little document, and every time something comes up, it's attached to your social security number. You want to have a number that's attached to the business that still identifies you, but not your personal information. Simple. You want to use your company as the guy or the girl out there, not your stuff. Okay? So even if your state doesn't require it, get it anyways. Because it doesn't require you to have it, doesn't say you can't get it, just says it's not required. Most states I've been to require it, but even if it doesn't, plus it also is important on taxes later on. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9, applying for licensing permits. This is the part we was talking about earlier when I was saying about people running into businesses and they don't know what the license requirements or the permits they need to do this business. I wouldn't care if you're selling bananas, you need a permit. Anytime you're selling something to public, I don't care what it is, you need a permit to do it. Doesn't mean you have to be like, it doesn't like, okay, I got a permit to sell used vehicles because new vehicles and used vehicle permits are 2 different permits, 2 different requirements. Some states require you to, for instance, some states require you to have a location. Georgia, for example, you have to have an office too and a location for you to get the permit. Other states require you to have a location that where cars what they call where it's called zone for cars and working on cars like gas stations and stuff like that. You just can't have cars anywhere. They don't want cars leaking and breaking down and sitting around on streets and stuff like that. Then there was a thing that I did in my town of Norwood, Massachusetts, where I got a permit, but I explained to them that I wasn't selling cars on a lot. I was selling them online. So I didn't have a lot because now things have changed. So they didn't consider people who were selling stuff online, cars online. So they took it in consideration. It was like, okay, as long as you don't have no cars there at the house, at my house, in my yard or whatever, in the driveway, you're good. We'll give you the permit to sell cars online because you still need a permit to sell cars. You still need it no matter where you at. You need a permit to sell cars, and you only can sell cars in your own state. By law, you can sell. You only can sell them in your own state. That keeps car dealers from crossing state lines and selling cars and stuff like that. I can go to any state and buy a car, and they can sell it to me. But I can't advertise my cars if I'm saying Massachusetts. I can't advertise the sale of my car in Georgia or in any other state. I only can advertise from Massachusetts. That doesn't stop people from coming from other states buying the car. I just can't advertise over there. Okay, that's just general law. That keeps everybody's territory to themselves. Okay, so I'll show you how to apply for permits and licenses depending on what kind of business it is. For instance, barber shops, and open a barber shop, you have to have a licensed barber on deck. The owner doesn't have to have a license. You just have to have someone licensed on deck. That's it. So one who doesn't own a barber shop, I mean doesn't have a barber's license, can't own a barber shop. You just got to have someone that's licensed at all times. And of course, if you're going to be cutting hair, you want people who are licensed, so those are your licensed people. But you have to have someone actually on the registration. So that means you have to partner with one of your licensed barbers and say, listen, I'm about to open up a barber shop. I want you to put your license on, and I want you to be like the overseer, whatever. They'll be happy to do that. It's almost like owning their own barbershop. They ain't got to put up no money. So a lot of people would do that. Same thing with hair salon. So some hair salons are all over the place. All you need is one person license in there. One person got to be licensed. All of them got to have a license to do here, but to open the door, you need one person license. But anyway, we'll go over the typical stuff you had to go through, where to find a license, how do you know where to get those licenses from, the what license are required. That's the most important part. How do I find out which licenses are required and what permits are required for me doing this particular thing? There's a way to do that. It's easy. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. Okay. Now, finally, number 10, open a business bank account. This is important because you ever hear that saying, don't mix business with pleasure. If you put your business money with your personal money, that's mixing business with pleasure. Okay? You're gonna end up spending that money on your own personal stuff, and you're not gonna know, and you're not gonna be able to tell when you do your taxes. You're not gonna be able to prove which money's yours from payroll, from yours, your own money, maybe from other sources, and which money's from the business because you have them co-mingled. Only time business things are co-mingled is when you're a sole proprietor. Because remember, sole proprietor means it's you by yourself and all the money and all the liabilities yours anyways. So whatever money's in your account under your name with your power on it. When it's a business account, it's your power over the account, but there's business's name on it, and everything that goes in out there. Business's account has to do with the business, such as payroll, paying the lights, paying your rents, buying materials, um, buying wholesale stuff. You want to use your account. Don't use your personal money. Don't use your personal money because you're not going to be able to prove. Sometimes, most of the time, depending on what you're buying. If I used my personal money to buy wholesale stuff, pretty much I can prove that it was, like it was money. But there's other things you can do with your personal money, like rent cars if you went out of town on business, or flights, your flights and stuff like that. If you do your personal thing, then it's going to be hard to separate which one's personal. You're going to be arguing with the IRS. So this was for this, and oh yeah, and I had to go. Was it business? Oh yeah, well, did you stop by your mother's house that day? Yes, well, that wasn't pot business, pot personal. See, that's why you just gotta separate. Like I was telling you before, separate from what's that's keep them separated. And you need the tax ID to open a business account. I don't care what state you're in. To open a business account, unless you're a sole proprietor, because that's not a business account, that's your account. To have a business name on that account, Joe Smo's ice cream count, you got to have a tax ID. You can't use your name. If you use your name, it's going to say Joe Blow. It's not going to say Joe Smo's ice cream. It's going to say Joe Smo. Okay? That means it's yours, not the business. It's yours personally. With the business, you have advantages when you have a business account, and I'll tell you the reason why in my other segments. Can't spoil all the beans right now. So, that being said, we're closing in on 1 hour and 23 minutes, and I'm going to make this an hour and a half. Most of them will probably be running hour and a half, depending on how deep we get into things. But I want to keep you confident in wanting to open the business. I want you to contemplate, and I'll answer your questions when I post. You'll be able to answer questions. I'll be able to answer your questions and direct you. Um, uh, I do some consulting. It depends. We'll talk about those things. But as far as for my segments, I'm trying to keep you motivated and keep your spirits up, so you can be a baller and starting your own business and take away all those fears. Doesn't make a difference if you're a man, woman, or child. Everyone can do this. Everybody can do it once you get past those fears. The fears is the jitters, and the fears is the most important thing to get past before you can start any business. I wouldn't care. Even I remember having a lemonade stand, and we were standing around, and we didn't know what to do. We just hoped people walked up just because it was hot and we had lemonade. We think someone wants it. Yeah, they could have wanted cold water too. We didn't think about having cold water. Then some people don't drink lemon. Maybe they're allergic to lemons. But you don't know that stuff. So always have some variety. So not only thinking of it now, I would have had lemonade plus cold water. Just regular cold water would have sold back then. And I wouldn't think about that. Figure everybody wants lemonade. Yeah, everybody do. But there's some people that want cold water too. So this is the kind of entrepreneur mindset, if you will, that you need to have. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Your wheels are already invented. You just gotta take those wheels and make something better of it. Like my example earlier with Amazon and Walmart. Amazon took retail, took it to another level. Just like Uber took taxiing, if you will, taxi to another level. They didn't invent transportation, they invented the Uber way. So you can take something and revolutionize it and innovize it and turn it to your own and let it make money for you and let it become your independence. I always define independence as people paying for my stuff and not me. That's simple. It's you paying for my. For instance, if I buy a house, let's say a 3-family, 5-family, whatever, I live on the top floor, first floor, wherever one I pick, and I rent the other ones. If, for instance, there's enough rent that my tenants pay enough rent to pay the mortgage, the lights, everything, whatever. And I live for free. So whatever money's in my pocket, I keep. If I'm working somewhere else or doing some other business, that's all my money. I ain't got no rent to pay. I got no mortgage to pay. I got no lights to pay. You paying that? My tenants. You're my tenant. You pay that. And for you paying it, I let you stay at my house long as you want, long as you want to pay what I'm renting. See how that works? I'm not robbing anybody. I don't need no gun. You know what I'm saying? I got to stand on no corners and say, hey, how many you want and all this other stuff. I can sit at home. I could be on a regular, I could be on the beach, okay, like everybody else. No one says no room. There's plenty of room for everybody. You be on the beach and just logging in and checking my account. That's simple. That's independence. You don't have to be rich. You just don't got no bills that you're paying for. Think about that for a little while. And this is the end of the segment. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Again, you can reach out to me at the links below. If you have any questions, specific questions, I don't care what they are. I know the business stuff is very, very confusing for a lot of people, but it's designed to be confusing so people can be scared. Oh, I don't want to do that. I think I'm gonna lose my money. Hey, I lost money before. I lost money plenty of times, but I would never lose. I would have never lost that money if I didn't try. Now imagine on the times that I lost, how many times did I win? Okay, I probably lost more than I won, but I'm still learning. I'm not scared no more. I'm not scared because I have confidence in myself and I believe in myself. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, that I believe in myself. Even if I put all my money and lost it all, guess what? I tried. I didn't let it intimidate me. I let the big business monster intimidate me. I'm going to go in and intimidate the business monster. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you the good feeling of ownership. There's a little short story before I end my video. So I had a store. Like I told you, it was a shoe store that turned into a boutique. Next to me was a meat market, Brazilian meat market. Next to that was an Indian restaurant. Next to that was like a sub shop that the father had owned for more than 40 years, and the kids was running it. And then there was the Walgreens, and then to the this was all to the left of me. To the right of me was a Brazilian restaurant where they cook on spin those things and all that. And then at night it turns into a club. So it was a club at night and everything. But all of the owners of these places, except for Walmart's a corporation, but all the owners and the owners' children, we all knew each other. And we all had a certain amount of respect for each other because we were all owners. We understand customers. Some of us had the same customers. Someone would come in and buy his shoes and go next door and eat. Or go next door and eat, then buy shoes. This us, we had the same customers, some of us. We had the same customers. And we're in the same town. So we was like a crew. We was the people who was the owners. We were owners. And the owners had you had a certain kind of respect for each other. They didn't look down upon me. I'm an owner too. You know what I'm saying? You own, I own. They didn't look at me and be like, you look like a poor nigga or anything like that. They looked up to me. They respect me because I was an owner like them. They didn't look at me as a customer. They should send me food. When I used to order food, they already knew what I wanted to send it over. That's how that was. Okay? The guy next door, the meat market, it was a meat market. Like they sold like beef steak. I go over there shopping. I get some pound. I could go to Stop and Shop. I go to him. He's right next door. He's the owner like me. And I would buy 4 or 5 pounds of chicken. He'd throw 2, 3 pounds on top of that. Owners. So when you become an owner, you become an elite. You become an elite. I wouldn't care if you selling bubble gum. They respect you because you pass that fear. That you successfully pass that fear that stops people from owning, and that's what they look at. They had that same fear for the ones who opened their own stores, open their own stuff. They had that same fear. Once they get past that, and I can tell you right now, a lot of the foreigners that come in this country, they come here already fearless. They don't have no fear because they have nothing to lose. They come with nothing. So they got nothing to lose. Some of us, we don't have nothing. So we got to think the same way they think. I ain't got nothing to lose. So what am I scared of for? Why am I scared if I don't have nothing to lose? I start with nothing. I got nothing to lose. Everything to gain. And that's the attitude that I pick up from and these are only except for one. Only the one person who they was Italian or whatever they were. No, Irish. They were Irish. Their father them owned the start of the store 40, 50 years ago, and they just took over and stuff. But other than that, the rest of them were foreigners. And they come in fearless. They come in, they don't come in scared. They got to feed their family. That fear is out the door. They feed their family. The wife worked there in the Indian restaurant. The wife worked there. The mother-in-law. Everybody worked in the restaurant. Everybody cooked. I go in the back of the store like, big parts of this. I'm like, whoa. And I was a chef for more than 30 something years. So to walk inside of an Indian kitchen where they're cooking Indian food was a whole different experience. And you know, my point I'm trying to make you is you gotta have that fearless attitude. You got nothing to lose. Okay? Okay. You lose 20,000, 30. I lost 40 something thousand. Big deal. Guess what? It put me on the road to success. It cost me that. Otherwise, I'd have bought a Cadillac with that thing. I'd still be riding around. It got old and fell apart and been to the junkyard. And I would still been saying, damn, I wish I had started my own business. See what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen with the car. I'm going to run the miles on it because I get on the road and I run it up and down to South Carolina and down to Georgia, back and forth, and run 200,000-300,000 miles on it if I could. And then it goes away. And there goes my money. With the store, I have an opportunity to build, to separate myself from those who are not doing anything to be with those who are doing something. It's just a ring on a ladder. You just one step at a time. One step at a time. You ain't gonna get it all at once. You don't jump on the roof. You got to climb that roof. You got to climb that mountain. Don't look at it as a mountain. Look at it as a bunch of hills. Don't look at that roof. Look at the ladder. One ring at a time. One hill at a time. One step at a time. Your fears will go away and you will be successful. I guarantee you that. So until then, take care. Stay safe. Be fearless when you're coming into business. It's murky, but it's doable. You can do it. And if you follow my segments, I guarantee you, you'll you look at things totally different. They say things start to change when you start to look at things differently. Amen. Bye bye.